Dylan Roobroeck, Ryan Roobroeck, brothers from London, Ontario, amazing hockey players. Great to have you guys on the show tonight. Mason Manzavrakos, my son, the big dog over on the right-hand side. These guys here, amazing story. I want to kind of just touch base on, their success already at a young age and what they've accomplished. I've spent a couple years training these two, and it's been like a pleasure, guys. You guys are gentlemen. You guys come in. You're on time all the time. You do your job. You work out. And I know you guys spend a lot of time doing a lot of extra things on the side to become really, really good hockey players. Ryan just got drafted to Niagra, second pick overall this year in the OHL selection draft. Dylan was drafted to Niagara originally and ended up getting traded to Oshawa and has now been drafted to the New York Rangers. Dylan, what round was it? It was sixth round?
Sixth round, yeah.
Sixth round. And Dylan just got back from their development camp, so I'm going to touch base a little bit on that. But I did want to kind of just talk about how special these guys are to have a family of, brothers. Like, you have the Stahl brothers, you have all these guys that have kind of like played in the NHL together. I would assume that's a dream of you guys, and I know that you guys, work hard every day, but eventually that could happen. Still early, we're working away at it. But I just kind of wanted to go back and forth between Ryan and Dylan and just kind of ask you guys some questions about, the OHL, how everything kind of works from when you walk in the door in the morning to get, on the ice and skate until like preparation on game day and stuff like that. So we're going to go with Dylan first. Dylan, obviously really excited about being drafted in New York.
For sure.
Massive. Yeah, that's huge, right? We were all sitting there going, I don't know if he's going to get drafted. I had a really good feeling because you really changed your game a lot. Like, I think when you left Niagara to go to Oshawa, you really kind of just got tougher, went to the net. Things that I know you could do in the past. You were just kind of maybe, feeling things out at the time. But sometimes change is good, right? You get into a new environment. They gave you another opportunity. I know Tulio, the owner there, good guy, and I talked to him when you went there. And he was, very excited to have you over there. So, how's that organization? Is top notch? Is Tulio run a good ship there?
No, I mean, from the rink to the staff to everyone. I mean, as soon as I got there, I was just given an opportunity, like you said there, and I mean, the staff are there to help you. Everyone's there to help you, and then it just kind of kept on rolling from there. I mean, I don't know. The facility is probably one of the best in the city.
Is it? Yeah, it's a nice facility, or what?
I think from this, like the dressing rooms I saw, I haven't seen a dressing room close to what we have there. So, I mean, just start from the facility and just going up from there. I mean, it's got everything you need there, right?
Top notch. Tulio doesn't, waste any time. I think he wants to acquire an NHL team. So, he's a guy who really takes care of his business and, is really organized in that. So, coaching, in terms of the coaching there, like, do they let you play your game? Do they kind of want you to play a certain style of hockey when you're there?
I mean, it's like kind of like any team. I mean, they want you to be creative and play your own game, play the way you can play. But I mean, there's also systems you gotta follow. And I think you pretty much any team you go to. I mean, you have systems.
Right. And did it take does it take long to pick these systems up, Dylan? Are they implemented in minor hockey, like minor midget?
I mean, really, for the most part, I mean, every system's a little bit different, but for the most part, I mean, you got all your systems, and they're pretty much the same.
They're pretty much the same. Maybe a little spin-off, like something different, right? Like
every coach is a little different. I mean, not like one coach is going to have the exact same breakout or like new like defensive zone like checkoffs. Like everyone's going to be a little different, but for the most part, I mean, it's the same systems you play. It's still hockey again.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's like, obviously I've been around hockey a long time, but football was my sport. But it's like they give you a playbook in football, and it's this big, and everybody gets overwhelmed. They read it, but there's a spin-off of, like, if you're a receiver and you're running routes, it's like, okay, these are the numbers. Now there's just a couple different words, and they do a couple different things when they go out there and do the exercise or run the route, right? So I would assume in hockey it's kind of similar to that, right?
Well, I mean, pretty much the same. I mean, I don't think hockey has nowhere near the amount of Like
No, it doesn't. Not even close.
No, the amount of plays that football does. So, I mean, in that sense, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, you have like your O-zone face-off drills, you have your neutral zone like breakouts and stuff, and you have your defensive zone like breakouts or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, every team's a little different, but you catch on pretty quickly wherever it is.
Just the speed of the play, everything's changed, gotten faster, right? Obviously.
Well, the speed from minor midget to the OHL, like
it's huge.
It's a huge difference.
Right,
huge difference.
right.
I mean, like obviously the first year, I mean, it kind of like gets you like going in the league, kind of gets you a feel for the league, and you just kind of got to build off it.
Yeah, no, you know, and I looked at it. We were making a comparison the other day at the gym with Danny Severett. We were talking about hockey versus football. And it's like football at your level in the States, which would be the equivalent like the NCAA. You know, those guys go in first thing in the morning, like 5:30, 6 a.m. lift. They go from there. They go video. They got school all day. Then they go practice after, and then that's a long day, right? And then they got study hall. In hockey, like in the NHL, a guy goes to the rink, and not saying they don't work hard. They're there for 45 minutes on the ice. They're in the weight room for probably 30 minutes then there's some treatment things that guys do. But then you're pretty well done for the day.
Well, OHL, it's definitely not like what you just
It's
said.
not like that, no.
For like Breakfast Club guys, which is your older guys, like non-high school guys, I mean, usually for most teams you get in the rink there around like 9 o'clock or so, and then you're kind of going in there, you're kind of maybe eating breakfast, making breakfast, kind of just getting ready, talking, changing, and then usually about an hour, just after an hour, you're kind of going to the gym, you're getting your lift in. I mean, once that's done, then maybe you're going for your lunch, or you're getting like your equipment ready. And then after that, I mean, so you got a pretty big gap there, so you got to wait for your high school guys to get back. So once your high school guys get back, then there's about another hour there between them, like going to get their workout in and getting food into them. And then usually probably around, for most teams, I'd say between 2 to 4 is usually when your skate is, and usually you're on the ice for an hour.
Yeah, so it's a bit more regimented, obviously, than NHL for sure. Like, it's like they don't want you guys, and plus you don't have the wallet that they have yet either. They don't want you guys sitting around after you're done, like, a practice in the morning or your breakfast club or whatever it may be, right?
No, I mean, They try to keep you going. I mean, you don't really just want to sit around all day either. I mean, you kind of want to do something else. It gets pretty boring. So.
How hard is it, like, with school? Like, is it a challenge because you guys are on the road a lot?
Well, when I was still in high school, for my second year, I was still in high school. It's pretty good. I mean, they have like a lot of help. They have like you can get tutors, you can get a lot of stuff. You can get extra help on the sidelines, and then obviously like you're going to high school with your buddies. So like you're in the same class. I mean, you have you two like you kind of help each other out. So
you're doing work on the road too, like when you're in
the yeah. So as I said, you're like on the road. You got a buddy of your class. I mean, if it's a long road trip, I mean, obviously, it's tough to do your work on the bus with all the guys. But if you're behind and you're trying to keep up, you can work with a buddy on the bus or. You can go back to like a buddy's billet house and maybe you guys can like study for a test or something. I did that a few times, but like it's pretty good for the most part. They help you along the way for sure. Yeah,
for sure. And then Ryan's obviously entering into the OHL, but like some amazing A-mates. You got to coach Ryan this year, so we're gonna go over some of these numbers because I'm just like blown away at like the numbers. I've got to watch Ryan. Mace, what about this guy here?
Something special for sure. He's my
protege.
Little protege. Coaching this year, and Ryan was pretty phenomenal to watch. I was a pretty good player myself, and I've never seen someone be able to put the puck in the net and find an open spot from wherever he is on the ice.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're actually both really good at that, to be honest with you. But this guy's,
I coach them, so I know a little bit more about him than Dylan, because Dylan's playing away. And But he was right here on the front doorstep, and he was definitely a good player to watch this year.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't want to be on the other team, for sure. Every time there's playing another team, you're probably getting like, the playbook, stop this guy, do this, put these two guys on this guy, right? Which become difficult as a player when that happens. Like to get points, and then when you still get points, it's crazy.
You dealt with the players on the other teams pretty good.
Dylan, you like when you were in minor midget, because I didn't follow your career because I didn't know you at the time. Like, were you getting those kind of points too, or were different player?
I don't quite think my points were what he had, but I mean, obviously when like you're a little bit better guy on the team, I mean, they try to shut you down. I mean,
Yes.
I think the biggest thing is like if you're like trying to get underneath your skin, trying to draw you into penalties and stuff. I think that's one thing you really gotta watch out for because you ain't gonna do much when you're sitting in the box. So.
No, but you know what's weird is like, it's actually not weird. It's like, you know, now that you've got a year or two under your belt, the confidence is growing, right? I can see it when you come to the gym, right? When we're in person talking, like you scored a lot of points when you got over there in Oshawa. Like you did well, right, for the situation you were put in. And I think next year that's going to just keep compiling. Like you're getting your confidence, you're getting your feet. I got to think a guy your size too, you know, you were going through growing spurts at times. And did it, you know, throw you off at all? Like, did you feel anything or no?
I mean, for the most part, with like a lot of people think maybe I had like growing pains and stuff. For the most part, I never really had very many pains. I was kind of a steady grower. I usually just grew about 3 inches in a year, and I never really was under that or never crazy over that. So for the most part, I mean, obviously you're taller and you're lankier, so you kind of get used to it. But for the most part, for like growing pains and stuff like that, it wasn't too bad.
Not the pains as much maybe as like, did you ever feel any like awkwardness happen? Like maybe the younger ages, major peewee, minor bantam. Like, you know, I talk to kids that are growing, and they're just kind of like, you know, and talk to the parents and their motor skills. Sometimes all of a sudden they're like, oh, they were skating really well and passing really well and shooting really well. All of a sudden they're not doing it so well, and then it comes back again.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously being taller, it's a little tougher to maybe like when you're in tight positions to turn and stuff versus when you're shorter. It's a little easier to make a quick turn and escape from someone. But I think that's probably like one of the like most noticeable things as you're bigger, so you cannot turn as fast, or maybe you can't like take off quite as fast. But I mean, you kind of just grow into it. And you just kind of like keep building up.
And you learn, right? You learn where to be and how to be there quick, like use your brain.
Yeah, and then exactly. Like, so you have size, and like who's smaller. I mean, he has to do more. But if you use your size to your advantage, I mean, you can kind of like control the smaller guys just because you're so much bigger than them.
100%. And then we got this guy this year, Ryan. You went Team Ontario. You guys won the gold there. That was awesome. We were all watching that at Falsey's place in London. Here he's a London Junior Knight goalie. I think he played with Ryan this year. But Ryan played up a year. Played when you were in major band and you were playing minor midget. How many points? You remember?
No, I don't remember.
What do you think it was?
I've got no idea.
I should have had my data. He's so humble he doesn't want to say anything. I know that. But Mace, you know the numbers, I think, right? Some of them?
Probably from
He's first all time points in the Alliance or in Junior Knights? Junior Knights. Okay. And there's some big names there. Kadri was there. And goals. Yeah. Douts was there. You know, I'm sure guys like, I don't know how far back the statistics went.
Goes back
pretty far. Yeah. But, you know, got to watch some games. Like I didn't get all of them. I went to the OHL Cup, and, you know, there's a lot of hype around him there. You know, for Ryan, I think both years, would you say that your points were just as much the first year playing up a year, or you think you had more the second year?
I'd probably say I have more second year, probably.
Yeah.
I'd assume. I don't know them off the top of my head.
I love it, eh? I don't know how many I had, but I should have had those stats here. But Ryan, Dylan, you must know some numbers, eh? 50 goals?
Yeah, actually, I think it was like 51 in
goals.
29 games or something.
That's pretty damn good. And the next guy down would have been, was it Weirzy or no?
I don't
Mace,
know.
was it Weirzy in the league for points?
Not in the league.
No. So there was a couple other guys ahead of him there, right?
Yeah.
So what about, tell us about the you guys played in PEI this year for Team Ontario. What was that like, Ryan? Like, what was the training camp like? Was the training camp here, like around this area, and then everybody trained and went down there and played? Is it guys just from the, like, Ontario region?
Yeah, so there's just, like, obviously if you're provinces or whatever, there's just Ontario guys. I think they called us down there for, like, a pre-camp or whatever. I think there was, like, 40 guys or whatever. We just had a couple skates for a couple days and played a couple games or whatever. And then once they decided their team was made or whatever, they sent us out to Kitchener there, I think for, was it 4 days or I think Mace 4 days? 4 days there, and then we just practiced nonstop there. Like,
so the team's made at this time now?
Yeah, the team's made at this time. We just stayed at the rink, pretty close to the rink there, and we just practiced all day. That's all
Before
we did.
you guys, like before you had to go actually and compete.
Yeah, and then once I think it was the Friday, where I think we flew out of Toronto there. And then once we got down there in PI or whatever, I think we had 1 or 2 practices. I don't remember. I think one for sure, and then the very next day we're right at it playing.
And where in that tournament there, like, were you guys like during the pool? Were you guys in first place? Did you lose any games? You guys go undefeated?
Yeah, I think we lost to Alberta there. Obviously, I think the guys we bounced back from that, especially playing them in the quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so you played them in the quarters again?
Yeah, we lost them in regular
action play. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a bit iffy there. We weren't sure if we're going to be able to squeak in or not with that loss, depending on how Alberta.
Really?
Did.
So you won all the other games, lost one. There was a chance that you could not have got in.
Yeah, we were hoping, which obviously it worked out for us that we got in, and then we played them again and ended up beating them. So
yeah,
it was good.
Just so everybody knows, this guy is a pretty humble guy. He does not like talking about his points. Hey, Mace, does not like talking about his accolades. Like we love it because we're the outside guys, right? But good for you, man, to be humble like that. Like, you know what? At the end of the day, just there to do a job, right? You enjoy playing it, and if your team wins, that's all that really matters, right? So, is there a chance now? Like, I was kind of on the internet the other day, and there was a roster posted by Snellgrove, and it was like, Team Canada's at U16 is.
So it's U17 or whatever.
U17, okay.
So I think they're it's gonna be made of 2 teams or whatever, and then, funny or not, we're going back to PEI to compete.
Really, you're going there again, eh?
Yeah, going there again.
Did you like it there?
Yeah, it was good, beautiful. We're right on the water, pretty close to the water, so I think we played a couple of our games. We had to travel like an hour or whatever, but we're pretty much on the coastline the whole time, so it was pretty nice.
It's really nice. We lived there for about 4 or 5 years. Did you go, Dylan, or no? You didn't go, right? No, because you were playing.
I was still in season.
You were going to say, I'm taking a break, man. Sorry about that. I'm going to watch my brother play. Did your parents go?
Yeah.
So they both went.
They both went.
Yeah.
They're up there, so.
Big hockey dad, Richard Roobroeck. We'll get him on here one of these days, eh, boys? He's there. He supports the guys. He's been to every rink. I mean, pretty intense when the guys are playing because, it's like something that these guys live for, man. These guys are all hockey. Hey, Mace? They got guys, athletes come in the door. They're here because their parents want to bring them in, or they're there because, I'm sure they like playing too. But these guys are, they really like playing. It's their lives. And I know that you guys do a lot of like stuff on the side to really, enhance your game. So I'm going to crack that today. There's probably some people that want to know, like, even if they can take some tips home, like regarding what you guys do to kind of like improve your skill. I know you guys shoot a lot. I would assume you guys are doing that a few times a week.
What's your routine? Like when you guys
are home in the summer?
Obviously, when you're not at the gym with us, what do you guys do? Like, I know when I was younger, I used to shoot like 300 pucks every night, like just in my basement.
Dylan?
Off the ice. What do you guys?
Well, it kind of changes. I mean, as we kind of got a little older, when we were younger, we used to shoot pucks in our driveway for sure. I think a lot of kids that played hockey, I mean, pretty much everyone shot pucks at some
as
point.
You get older, you start.
As you get older, I mean, you start kind of like just like smarten up and like focus on like what you need to focus on. I mean, we still do shootings and stuff with like just goalie skates. So like we're still getting like our shots and stuff like that, and then we're trying to focus more on the gym here, like these two right here. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we kind of change is it's just like making sure that we're like at the gym, like training. Like,
Yeah. You guys are pretty big guys, like tall, but you're strong too. Like I know the weights for you guys are important, right? Because the skill and I think the skating is there for both of them. Like they're really talented that way. But obviously now you're going to go play against men. You're going to go to a training camp where there's going to be guys that are, 15-year veterans that are 215 pounds. Or even if the guys that are 200 pounds or 190, they're strong.
Yeah.
Right? They're men. They're developed. So, I know that the strength training portion of it for sure is important. For you guys, like now, Ryan, like moving into the current season, what's the goal for you? Like, do you have any goals? Like, are you just going to go and play and do your best? Do you have like anything in your head that you want to kind of target? I want to try to get 15 goals, anything like that?
Not really any personal goals, more so like team and teammate goals. You just kind of want to bring the team up and do a lot better than previous years or whatever. I mean, that's what the guys that get drafted to specific teams are there for, to help the team and their teammates get better all around. So
100%. You know what? And I talked to Danny about this the other day. You won't win games. Everybody's got to buy into, being a brotherhood when you play, doing things for each other. There's going to be times I know that you're in the room with guys all the time, so it doesn't matter. If I was around him every day, we'd probably want to kill each other. But you got to be able to, when you walk in the door and open it to get in to do your thing, is like completely break away from it and just say, I'm there for the boys, I'm there for the team. Because ultimately, they're looking for that, right? They're not looking for, individualistic players. They need everybody to do everything in the game. So what are you working on this summer then, bud? What's the, anything specific, anything different to kind of improve your game?
Doing a lot of speed work, agility work, and everything.
Yeah.
Just trying to get
faster, right? Yeah.
Get faster. Just being able to jump in the league next year a lot quicker, I think is very important to me.
Yeah, for sure it is, 100%. There's going to be, a lot of good players out there. Obviously, Dylan, what was it like? Like when you got there, was it like an eye opener? Were you like, holy shit, this is fast out here, man?
Well.
Or it didn't take you long to adapt?
I don't think it took long to adapt, but obviously with COVID there, so I lost my first year. So I played minor midget, then I basically had I think a lot of guys did, but a lot of guys had a year off there with COVID. So it's just kind of like summer skates almost, but year-round skates.
Yeah.
So I didn't really start until my second year, but when I jumped in my second year, obviously you haven't played a game in over a year.
No.
So you're jumping into games and you're like, whoa, it ain't a summer skate no more, right? So
no, not the same caliber, not the same view.
Exactly. Like everyone's top level. It's the real deal.
It's the second best league in the world. Well, AHL than you guys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's pro for sure. Is there any instances that happen sometimes, like the guys get heated up at practices and stuff? You see it on television, you see it on Twitter and that sometimes.
100%. I think pretty much at any level. You're practicing the certain guy you've seen 5, 6, 7 times a week. You're at practice and you're battling. And someone takes something the wrong way, and then you got a little incident. But at the end of the day, everyone comes back and talking about it, and then you end up laughing about it.
No, that's one thing.
I think that's the biggest thing.
One thing I noticed with hockey guys, and they will want to kill each other on the ice, but a lot of times they're just, after that, it's like they just drop it. It's like, hey man, how's it going, right?
And I think that's probably one of the best things about the game too. I could be playing against Mace. I've known him for a few years now. We go on the ice and we're against a team. I'm battling against him, but on ice I may hate him, and then off ice. I'm going to skip the next day.
100%. And Ryan's looking forward to that this year, right? You're going to get a lot of that, right? Rookie, whatever, this and that, right? So I guess you just got to push it off, right? Have you had any fights this year? Yeah, you had 3 or 4 fights, right?
I had 4 fights last year, and then I had one where I dropped and it didn't turn into a fight, but I had 4 fights last year.
Yeah. So I see in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League they cut it out. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that, man?
I get what they're trying to do, take away fighting, obviously, it prevents injuries, but at the same time, fighting's there for kind of a reason.
I agree with you, man.
It's to kind of keep certain people under control, and as a lot of people say too, fighting, you get in a fight, it gets the boys fired up, it gets everyone fired, it gets them going.
Oh yeah, a good old hockey fight. There's nothing better than that.
Your emotions play a part in the hockey game. Yeah. I feel like if you're taking that emotion part out, where it's you're kind of timid to skate around the ice and bump into someone and then get into something, right?
Pay the consequences.
Yeah, it's gonna playing timid's not very good. You want to hit a guy, you want to lift a stick, you want to body check someone, take them off the puck, right?
No, but I think too, like you said, you got your skill guys, like the guys that are maybe a bit smaller, and someone comes in and runs the guy from the back end into the boards, and then the whole game he's getting away with it. He's doing it more than one time, let's say, or whatever he's doing to kind of create problems or maybe hurt somebody. In the end of the day, and then someone comes over and tunes him in, he's going to figure it out pretty quick. That if somebody, I think it's still important. Yeah. And I see the Leafs made an acquisition. They had Ryan Reeves they picked up this year. He's a big, tough dude. That'll help them out for sure. Is Lucic in Boston?
Lucic went back to Boston, yeah.
Did he go back? I thought I saw something on Twitter.
I think Lucic went back to Boston.
Yeah. Like those guys, you got to have some of those guys in the team. Because you can't have guys that are like the skilled guys trying to win games for you, breaking their knuckles. Now, in saying that, he's skilled too. That's the other thing, right? So it's good to have both attributes.
You can have the whole package.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're right. You gonna fire down the gloves or what? You got it or what?
I got that bet on you and QZ. First game.
Yeah,
Goal
London
assist-
versus
goal assist and a
Niagara.
fight.
Right?
One down after.
You know what? I think you're out there obviously to do your job and play and do whatever. But it just, I remember playing shinny hockey, and I'd be playing with guys, and I wasn't a great hockey player or anything like that, but I'm playing, and when you start revving that motor up and you're skating, you're getting tired, and some guy friggin' hooks you, automatically you just snap.
No patience.
Yeah, you just go like, are you kidding me right now?
Because you're already gassed.
Yeah, guys are fighting in shinny hockey, right? Trying to prove themselves in that league too. But is there a certain amount of games that you will get, or sorry, if you have like 4 fights, 5 fights, can you have 10 fights?
No.
Well,
There's a limit.
What's the limit?
so there is a limit. So for the O personally, you can have 3 instigators.
Yeah.
So if I go up and I instigate 3 fights, it's just 5 minutes at 10 and 2.
Yeah.
If I instigate a 4th fight, then it's a 2-game suspension. If I instigate a 5th fight, then I think it doubles again. But if, let's say, so I had 4 fights, but so I'm over 3. But one of my fights, someone instigated on me, so that doesn't really count as one of my fighting cards.
Okay.
So in theory, you could have 9 fights, and you only instigate 3, but 3 got like 6 more people instigating against you, then you're fine.
Then you're fine.
Yeah.
So how many instigators did you have?
So I had 3 mutual ones, and then I had one guy instigate on me. So I didn't receive.
So you were good.
I didn't receive no suspension for my 4th fight because my 4th fight, a guy.
I mean, you got to be pretty fucking stupid to try to fight a guy like this. Honestly, he's 6'7", 200, and I don't even know what are you 220 now? 210?
Like 208.
208.
210.
Like there's nothing you can do to him, right? Like Ty Domi used to have that one move where he like put his arm back and his head back, take about 20 shots, and then come back. It doesn't work. Chara, I remember guys trying to fight Chara. I'm just looking there going, leave that guy alone, right? Yeah. So it's definitely, I think, for him, that's, New York probably saw, like if I'm a scout, I'm going, he can shoot, he can skate, he's smart, he can throw the gloves down if he has to. Now it's just a process of you learning the rest of the game now, like at the next level, right? Whether it be American Hockey League and stuff like that. So
speed's the only thing that picks up.
Yeah,
As you can adapt to the speed of the game.
Yeah, and he's deceivingly quick. He's quick. I mean, like you said, you probably have learned how to kind of keep your feet moving so that you're always can get to that speed that you need to get to, Dylan.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I mean, like I said, I mean, a little guy might be a little bit faster, but you're taller, so you kind of got to use like what you have to your advantage. So if I have reach over him, I got to use my reach over him.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the biggest thing you kind of learn as if you're like a bigger than like everyone else.
If they ever bring clutching and grabbing back, you're going to be awesome at that. You'll be like just one step, pull the guy back. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
hey?
Oh yeah, like for sure.
Does it get competitive with you two guys?
Used to when we
Yeah?
used to play mini sticks.
Not anymore.
No,
Mini
not
sticks,
anymore.
eh?
Mini sticks.
Yeah.
Well,
Big battles on the mini sticks, right, or what?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a couple reminders down in the basement of the good times, but other than that,
Yeah, everything's good.
only a couple injuries over the
Everything's good.
years.
You guys always drive around together. They drive around a smaller car. I know. Wait till they sign a contract. I'm sure they'll buy a big Escalade or something like that. But it's awesome. Here they come, hey, Mace, in the doors, and and same with us. Wherever I took him, a different scenario. Obviously, I'm being dad, taking him places, but I took him everywhere, man. I spent all kinds of money to try to help him, do what he liked doing, and it can get pretty friggin' expensive, man. Like hockey's gotten ridiculous. Hockey's gotten to the point where it's $400 or $500 a stick. The skates are, probably $1,500-$1,600 by the time you're done.
Well,
So thank God you guys are
These guys
playing.
are a little younger. They have like the sticks. You're actually not that young, but you're really young.
Wait, he's not
The
old.
Sticks, the
No,
sticks.
you're an old man.
When I was younger, the sticks were only like $250. Maybe,
No, they
maybe
were-
like $200.
No. You were getting half.
But when I got older, they went up to like I'm talking about like novice.
You were at like 320, 300.
No, that's
Yeah.
when I got older.
No, you're at 300, and then you had Newport as your agency. They would get you sometimes the sticks for like half price. Because I remember I paid
I'm
for it.
talking about when I started.
Yeah. When you were young. Okay, so Adam and that. But you're saying you'd keep the same stick for 5 years at that age.
No. I was breaking sticks.
Sticking clappers at 2 years old.
Just to get rid of stick.
Yeah, yeah. Dad, I went. Oh yeah, you should see him when we were like when he get pissed off and he thought it was a stick, he would stick it into the boards and I'd catch him, probably be up there watching. I need a new stick. I'm like, did I just see that?
One little crack and it didn't feel right.
Yeah. But you guys know, like Mason was a
warranty.
really good goal scorer when he was younger, and he was still even till he played junior hockey. Like, does that stick after about 10, 15 uses lose its whip?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
How long does it take you? Like you being at the OHL level, because you're touching the puck a lot more than these guys are. How long till that stick starts to go? That feels funny to you.
Well, for me, I don't know. Especially if you're like a center, like when I was taking face-offs and stuff, like a stick would maybe last me like a week. Like that's about it.
Wow.
About a week. Between like getting like smashed in and stuff and then snapping and
Yeah.
that stuff in between shooting at practices, like a stick would last about a week.
And I got to think, Ryan, even you, like because you shoot a lot of pucks. What's the most amount of sticks that you guys have been so non-OHL, most amount of sticks?
Me, like probably my midget year there. Just I don't know. I think I remember the one game there. What I break like 3 a game or whatever, 2 a game in Sarnia there.
Yeah.
You can just see the parents' face go.
One game.
Yeah, I remember using remember I grabbed Ty's stick and like 2 shifts later I went down the right
Broke
side.
his
and-
stick.
No, I went down the right side. I shot it or whatever. I got my own rebound. I put it in. I wasn't even using my stick. I was using
I love it.
I was using Paisley's stick. It was like a I don't know, like a 55 flex.
Probably opposite hand too. Eh?
No.
Still scoring with it.
He was a lefty. He's a lefty. So
Yeah.
he was a lefty, and he was one of the guys that are around my height that was playing. Because I don't think.
I grabbed the stick.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like 15 sticks in a year?
I'd probably say probably right around there is what I broke this season.
That's insane. That's what you would break 12 or 15 sticks a season too. Dylan?
my second.
OHL, a stick a week?
Pretty much.
Stick a week.
Especially like when like the 3 and 3 set, like when you're going
Yeah.
like back to back with all those games where it's just like straight face-offs.
Yeah.
Like, those sticks just take a beating.
Like, do these guys, they must, like, because I worked for Mark Hunter, and Mark didn't like sticks going out the door, too early or whatever, but you guys get funny faces sometimes? Like, or they just let you do your thing?
I mean, for the most, it's been like I can't complain so far. I mean, you show them that it's broken, it's broken.
It's
You get
broken.
a new
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I mean, you're not playing with a broken stick in a game.
Do they look at them? Do they look at the stick?
No,
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Just say it's broken, or like let's say it doesn't break, and you've been using it for a while, and it loses its pop.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about there, like every stick will eventually loses its pop, it loses that whip or whatever. You can tell them that you can get a new stick.
Do you imagine the stick budget of an NHL hockey team? Even an OHL team?
And the NHL is even worse.
Oh, it's crazy.
Those guys, they take one shot and they don't like the stick. It's
in the hundreds of thousands.
No.
Yeah.
Corey Perry said that Ovechkin brings a new stick out every power play. So if he's got
I heard
4
that.
power plays in a game or 5, he's 5 sticks. That's crazy.
that's
Oh.
insane.
Yeah.
Send him off to a fan up in the crowd.
Exactly.
I remember like Ryan did it too. He'd have a power play stick, and then he'd have 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd have like 3 or 4 sticks.
I think those like magician type guys, they have that in their head. You were good with it too, and I was like, look at you, and I'm going, he's like, I need to get another stick. I just buy you that stick. Or we would do the trade-in thing, right? He would break the stick, and you had the
30-day warranty.
30-day warranty thing, eh? Everybody does the 30-day warranty thing, right? You bring it in, the guy's like, how did that stick break in that position, right? That's not
doesn't even make any sense.
no. But they do it, right?
Well, I mean, back to the Sarnia game or whatever. Like I took the one shift with the one stick. I took a slash up in the hand,
Yeah.
for like 6 inches from the knob, and just right
Yeah,
in
the
2.
knob.
Broke it.
No, like the knob part.
Really?
Yeah,
The
like
top
one-
of the stick.
Yeah, right on the top. So like my hand is up here, like probably like, in between my hand, like both my hands.
And you've never had that ever? Obviously, I would think never.
No,
had
I've
that.
never had it there. I usually break them down in the bottom of the shaft or in the blades. And the worst part about it is the ref sent right there, and there's no call. So
No call.
Terrible. Rap.
What about sticks? I mean, sorry, not sticks. Skates. 1 pair, 2 pairs this season.
Well, they give you 1 pair in the season. I mean, like if your skate breaks or something, I mean, you obviously get a new pair. But
Right.
for, like, I know me personally, I don't really like to break in new skates anyways. So if I can use my 1 pair of skates for the season, and then
You
get a
like
new
that?
pair next season, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
But
Ryan, you like the same pair of skates? Like, do you ever use it like back-to-back seasons in minor hockey, or no?
Yeah, I was using back-to-back season. I mean, I actually broke one of my pairs this year, whenever, and then Waterloo or whatever. Like, I hopped into a game with brand new skates. It was one of the worst things. Like, I stepped on the ice and I almost wiped right out. It was awful.
You know, that evolution of the skate, like I remember, you know, my day, because I've been through the 30 years of watching this, you know, even the skates, let's say, in the early 2000s, there's still like ankle bend in them, right? Guys could bend their ankles a lot. Now it's like just like a boot, and it's like almost like the way that they're edging and turning, it's like there's not a lot of like.
Well, it's just your foot.
You're
Like,
bending from the hip and the knees more to get these tighter turns, where before a guy could like turn his ankle a certain way and drop and move a bit different. So I would assume, like we talked to Corey about it, he still likes the, you know, have looser like skate laces on there to kind of like bend a bit more. Yeah, you guys tighten them right up, or?
Well, for me, I was thinking when you get them new, like they mold them to your foot. So I mean, it helps a little bit, but I mean, it still takes a little bit to use. But I've always just had tight laces. I don't like my foot being too loose or moving around my boot. I like it kind of.
You like it tight.
I like it just snug to my foot.
Yeah. Ryan, same thing.
Yeah, I pull them as tight as I can. Up in my ankles, usually the top eyelets are like an inch apart from each other.
Yeah, so you like them tight.
You do pull.
I pull them extremely tight.
You know, the media, like, I remember being in New York and watching, you know, after we lose a game and you get, you know, you'd have the media, you have to talk to them kind of, right? I don't know if there's fines involved. I think there is some. There is, right? And you'd lose, and then they'd ask you these dumb questions, and they try to manipulate the situation. Torts is awesome to watch on that, right? To listen to him, he's a classic. But you know, you finish a game. You know, Dylan, you've had interviews, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Does it bother you, or just kind of like take it as a grain of salt?
Well, I mean, for the most part, I mean, you just kind of keep your head up, be positive. I mean,
yeah.
There was a couple tough ones, like where you get blown out or you're getting blown out, and then next thing you know, they're asking you for an interview in this game, and then they're asking you like questions about the game, like.
Yeah, you just want to get on the bus and go.
I don't know what you want me to really say. But I mean, just got blown away, like.
Do they? Your own eyes.
Do they in you know, OHL or you know, major junior hockey, the media twist words that you think a lot of times?
No, I think
they're pretty straight.
I think for like the OHL, like I think it's pretty straight. I don't think they change too much. I mean,
no, because there's no money involved, right?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing too.
You're talking about, let's say, Sidney Crosby. Everybody knows he's making, let's say, $12 million. They're gonna say something because they want to get more hits.
They probably try and like poke them more too. Like they don't really try and like edge you on here with some questions. Like you like see some of those media questions there on social media. The players give like a snarky answer back. And
yeah.
For the most part, I mean, I haven't seen any of that stuff in the OHL. So
no, Dana White's the king at closing out the press guys. I mean, he just shuts them right down. Like there's some dumb things some of those guys say sometimes, right? Like it's not warranted, right? But even Sidney Crosby, remember when he had the concussion? Imagine how many times he got, like, interviewed. When are you coming back?
Well, people twisted a lot of things on him because they didn't even know.
Yeah. No. Ryan, you've had a bunch of it this year, too, right, I think? At different tournaments, probably, and that. Seem to be okay with it. And nothing really bothers you too much, eh?
No, I'm pretty fine with it.
You're not Tortorella's young protege.
No, it's... I don't know. I think I've done a couple after a couple losses or whatever.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 years in playing in minor minute, it doesn't really get to me. I mean,
no, you can't let it get to you.
There's obviously some questions you get asked. You're pretty much shaking your head, but it's at the end of the day, it's their job and.
For sure, and
you're just answering them.
But I would assume too, you know, being a young guy, like, and it doesn't matter whether if it was me when I was young or any of us. Like, you get a question, you're live, right? We get to edit this after and do whatever, but you're live on television, and you're like, holy smokes, what am I going to say here, right? I hope I don't say, because a lot of hockey guys, if you watch them get interviewed, they say the same thing over and over and over.
And you're trying to come up with it as you're going. So.
Yeah.
That gives you a little.
It keeps the rhythm going.
Well, it keeps just some noise.
It
gives you a pause.
No awkward silence.
No. I was like, I know it's kind of off topic, but my lawyer, he's like a really smart dude, and this guy's like, you talk to him, and if he doesn't know the answer to something, he'll just pause and wait and think about what he's going to say, and then he says the right thing every time. right? And it's like one little move that he does every time. I was watching it, I was like impressed by it, and I tried to like copy it. Oh, it's impossible for me to do that. Too much ADHD, I think, for me. To do that. But how are you guys eating? You guys got to eat good, obviously, to be top of the line athletes and that. Like, you know, protein, obviously having the same amount of protein as your body weight is something that's kind of out in the, you know, in the system or
that a lot of people miss.
That a lot of people miss.
Very important.
Yeah.
To gain any muscle mass at all.
Like Dylan, are you guys, like when you're building, are they giving you guys like what you want? Is it like if you ate 10 chicken breasts, they'd be like, hey, put those back for the kids?
No, I'm going to be honest. I've had 2 great billets. I had a great billet in Niagra, and I've had a great billet in Oshawa so far. I mean, you just got to ask them. You just got to speak up, like let them know, like, can we get this or can we have this?
And they're good. They're good most of the time,
and
right?
then every time they'd be like, yeah, okay, I can get that for you. I mean,
you always try to not overeat.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like, you don't want to be like rude or like whatever about it, but like you just ask them, and every time I've asked them, they've said, yeah, no problem, and then they just do it. So,
yeah, that'll be new for you too, eh, Ryan?
Yeah.
This year, grabbing some food there, and you have to make any of it yourself or no?
Well, I don't really make much, but
they make it. They make it for you.
Part, like they make it all, but like if I want like extra food from the break or in the morning, I'm just gonna go stop.
You're just gonna go make it exactly.
Something like that. And just grab something there.
I noticed talking to Kairu and Perry, and they were saying that they hired a nutritionist this year. That's getting big amongst a lot of players. Like in the National Hockey League, obviously you're not going to get that in the OHL, but and they should be doing that. Like so, basically, pairs I think on Sunday makes a phone call, or maybe even on Saturday. And then they show up for, like, if he's home for 3 days, they have all the meals prepared fresh, puts them in his fridge. We're doing that right now. We're using a couple different companies. We tried one, thought it was okay. Second one was all right. But these guys are like, they break all the meals down for the pro guys, like, how many calories you need to have. You're not going to get that in the OHL. So you got to kind of be like, self-sustainable in terms of knowing, a little bit about nutrition. Did they spend time with you guys teaching you some stuff, or you just?
I think it maybe depends a little where you go, but like there is like you can get like if you want a nutrition plan, like I'm sure you can get one. You just have to ask for it.
Yep.
Like I know like obviously like you said it's not quite like it is in NHL versus O, but like when I went to New York there, I mean. It was like an eye opener. Like you go in there in the morning, like so they have an app. You put in like what you want for breakfast and what you want for lunch and what you want for dinner, all in the app.
Wow.
And you show up there, it sends you a message. Your breakfast is ready, your lunch is ready. You go in there.
That's awesome.
And you just grab it. So like that could be like you can get like smoothies. You can get like bacon and eggs. You can get like whatever. And then they have all like their side fridges like with like yogurt and granola.
Yeah.
Like salads.
Anything you want, pretty well. Anything that's required for your body to take it in, it's going to be there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They have all that stuff. I mean, not going to say they're going to go there. A candy bar.
No.
It's just all...
Do they have any candy there sometimes?
I never seen any candy
you didn't see any there? Okay.
I've seen a lot of different like protein bars and protein drinks and different like electrolyte drinks. I've seen a lot of different drinks I've seen before, but I didn't see no candy bar.
You're going to have a laugh on this one. So I get hired New York Islanders, right? This is 2003, I think. And so Mike Milbury was the GM at the time, and he's like... We need to change the meals. We need to change the foods. We need to, do this and that. And I'm like, all right, that's good. No problem. Yeah, that's great. We need to eat. So I get on the plane the first time and I see, as soon as you walk in on those planes, they have like, now they would probably have fruits, vegetables. I should ask Pears this if they've changed it. And then there's a whole candy bar section and Coca-Colas. Because there's still some guys that like to have that. And we're all human, so we're going to have that, right? You're on a long plane flight. You're going to want to have a Coke if you're having something to eat. If you guys are exercising a lot so you can burn it off. Anyway, I see this, and I'm like, okay, so then the guy that breaks down the nutrition for the airplane, because airplane food is different. It's not like what we get at home, right? It's like pre-made. Who knows where it sits for a while. I'm sure it's all good, but sometimes it comes to you and you're like, this pancake's like concrete.
Yeah.
So anyway, I look on the menu, and the people who actually make it were a hotel service, so like a Marriott or whatever, and they will prepare these meals for the planes and put them on there. So they ask the guys what they want to have, they check off the box, and then back then it was a piece of paper, now it's an app. Boom, where you go, you get that on the plane. I walk in the second time after I made the adjustments, I was like, okay, no more candy, no more pop. It's all like health food when you walk in. And I remember it was Rick DiPietro. He was the goaltender there. All I could hear as soon as I walked into the plane from the back of the thing was, F you, you clown. Like, what the hell's this shit? I'm used to do. I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, I can't believe this is going on. Like, you guys are pro athletes here. You should be eating good. We're trying to make a playoff run here. But, I got to think about it later on. I'm going, like, you know what? Everybody is human. You must have once in a while a sweet tooth. I'm sure you have one, right? We have the Skittles going here. Mason's got. I got a bad one too.
I got a really bad
Right?
sweet tooth.
I think
Yeah.
everyone does. I think
Everybody, right?
We eat so healthy all the time,
Yeah.
so often.
Yeah.
And then one time you just eat and you just.
Yeah, we put the candy bars back. In Russia, pre-game, it's their like tradition to have cakes. They'll order in big cakes, like multiple ones, and they'll sit in there, and they'll have their tea and their cake. And I tried to get rid of that too. And guys were like sneaking the cake into the trainer's room, right? Yeah. And they would eat it in the back room where before it was like in the middle of the island inside the change room. And so now, if I was to do it again, which I'm not going to do it again, but if I was to go back to it, I'd probably, you have to be a little like lenient as long as guys are eating good. Because they have, like New York is amazing. Like one of the best places in the league to kind of be pampered as a player. Like run us through, Dylan, like you show up in the morning to a development camp program like you went to, and how does it start? Like what time you get up at, and how does it work?
So like your schedule, like your food app, it's all in like an app on your phone. So like you have your food app, and then you have your like app with your schedule and events. So I think pretty much every morning there I was getting up at like 7 o'clock, 6:45, 7 o'clock, and then you're getting bussed to the rink. Then you're at the rink, like you already have your food like put into your app, so it's already made as soon as you get to the rink. So then you're eating your breakfast and your smoothie or whatever. Then like you're going to get changed. Then you're heading to the gym, like to kind of like stretch out, roll out, and then for the first couple of days there's a workout. So the first couple of days we're getting a workout in, and then next thing you know, like you're going back for lunch later on. And then a little like after lunch is usually when you went on the ice for your skate. And then it varied a little bit because we had two groups when we went there, but like for the most part it was very like regimented. Like you woke up, got on your bus,
Same time every day.
pretty much, yeah. Like it, all within like a half an hour. Pretty much everything is the exact same.
And was there like if you had any trouble and you needed something, you had a contact name, you could get a hold of somebody?
Yeah, no, it was very well laid out. Like you pretty much the first day you went there, you had the first maybe day or two was you had like your meetings, like your introduction, like you had like your trainers there, like they instructed them, and then you had like your food people, they had like a sleep doctor, they had like a
mental psychiatrist,
a mental person, like
sports psychologist, yeah,
and then they had like a sleep person come in, they had like nutrition. They had a media person come in for like your media. They had like everything, like all these different meetings, just to kind of like you can learn about it. You can reach out to these people if you need help.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Just everything was there.
Yeah,
for you.
Really puts things into perspective of how much money these teams and organizations make. Like I remember going in and on a couple different occasions, even later on in my career when I was doing development work with different like NHL teams. If they needed like a new weight room and there was a better idea for them, even if they had already spent like $700,000 like a year or two ago, which a lot of that equipment does not go bad after that, and you want to change it, when they hire you, they'll just do whatever you tell them to do. Yep, they believe in we hired this guy, we're gonna do what he wants to do, and
his way, try it.
Yeah, boom, just like that. And Ryan's actually, because you played for the Dobler, he's going into a decent situation here where. He's a very wealthy guy. He loves hockey. I wasn't in. You were in Niagara. Was he there when you went, or was he new just now? Like.
So my first year it was the Berks.
Yeah.
Then my second year went there. It was the Dobler.
It was the Dobler. Okay.
For the time that I was there, so for the whole time I was there, like a month or so, it was the Dobler there. So I known him like a little bit there, and then back in when I was in minor midget, when I was AP and up. I got the AP to his junior A team.
Oh, you did? Okay, in Brantford.
Yeah, for the Brantford 99ers. So I got, I don't know, it was 4 games, I think, up there. 3 or 4 games up there, so I got to, know him a little bit before he even had the team.
Yeah.
So when he bought the team, I already knew who he was. I mean, that was pretty cool, but no, he was a good guy.
Yeah, no, he was good. He had the junior B team at the time, then he made his way up to the junior A team. and then obviously Niagara he purchased this year. So, he's a guy who I think, he wants to win. They're in a situation where it's a tough, I think turnaround for everybody and a rebuild. But and I think he's, is a little bit of time that he has to spend away from the club. But what are the facilities like in there? Have you been in there, right? You've been in there, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was in there when Dylan got drafted or whatever to Niagara, but it's pretty much the same. It's pretty new, but everything there it's up to date. So.
Got a good weight room in there.
Yeah.
They have good bikes and stuff
Good
like
weight
that.
room, lots of bikes in there. So
What do they hold for capacity there?
5,500 or something.
I think Niagara's like 5,400.
Yeah, like Niagara do they get a crowd?
Yeah, when I was there, like doing a tour, where they said they had like 6 or 7 sellouts that season, and then a lot of games are pretty close.
Because I know for sure, and I don't know if it'll happen for sure, but I'm gonna guarantee you there will be a push. Hamilton's in Brantford because they're redoing the arena there, the American Hockey League arena that they play out of. But the Dobler brought on Wayne Gretzky as a part ownership, and I'm gonna bet. And I know the Dobler because I used to train his kid, so I used to go to Brantford and I used to drive up there and work out his son, who's playing college hockey right now. And that was his goal. He wanted to buy Erie at the time, but it didn't work out. And he always asked me, he's like, do you think an OHL team would go in Brantford? I think it would. Like, I don't know.
I think it would.
I think it would. I mean, you got a lot of little places that are nearby. But, imagine that. Like, Niagara does actually draw well, right?
Very well.
For when we were there, like we
Right.
didn't have a very good season.
Did they still come?
That was during COVID, like when our numbers restricted. But
Yeah.
Like once they lifted those numbers and like restriction, we usually put over 4,000 in there.
Yeah, so they had a decent
Like
crowd.
over 4,000, and we were like a bottom place team when I was.
And when you played a good team, would it go to like 5,000?
I'd probably jump up to about 5,000.
Yeah.
Just under 5,000. I think our last game was probably we had the most. It was just over 6,000, or no. Just over 5.
Over 5.
Yeah, just over 5.
Would you say it held 6,000?
No, I think it said
55.
400.
And what does Hamilton hold?
Well, their main
More,
arena there.
Like they're they must have a big.
I think they're up around like 17,000.
Oh, that many people.
Yeah.
They have that whole like upper dome, right?
Yeah.
That whole upper dome. Actually, when Hamilton was playing for the championship there, that upper dome was open. And apparently, that whole ring sold out, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know who the owner is there, but he must have some serious cash, man. Like they're redoing, they're refurbishing the inside of that facility. It's anyway. That's a big. Imagine having to, I'm sure it costs them a lot of money. They're going to play at where you used to play junior B out of. Is it the Coliseum? Civic Center, right?
It's a good arena.
And that used to have like a pro team there in the Colonial Hockey League. The Brantford Smoke used to play out of there in like the 80s and early 90s. Good, a lot of people. I think you could fit 3,000-4,000 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You played in there, Ryan, ever?
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys played a game there? Really? Is that where Brantford minor midget played out of?
One game.
Yeah. So it's definitely, I think the owners today and they're whoever's taking these teams over, they have big money.
Oh yeah.
I think
They
everybody.
have to.
Yeah. I still think I heard, I don't know for sure if it's true, but like a couple teams like Erie and Sarnia still for sale, probably, wanting to get the right price. Guelph's just sold for $25 million.
It was a couple years ago or whatever.
Is
3 years.
it no? Was it
years
that
ago?
long ago? Right?
2 years ago or whatever.
Okay, maybe it was. Yeah, big furniture guy bought it. Scott Walker was one of the owners there, and I don't know what his percentage was, but the story was that this furniture guy, was tracking him down and asking him like repetitively to sell the team, and he just wouldn't do it, and then I guess he pulled up. Could be a complete lie, but into the rink and said, "What do you want?" He said he threw out $25 million, and he said he wrote the check on the spot and gave it to him. So I don't know how much legitimacy there is behind that, but if they're going for 25, London Knights would be worth 30 or 40 million.
More than that.
At least.
At least. What's
That-
it like playing in there, Dylan?
So we only play on once home, once away.
Yeah.
But our away game is pretty sick because it was a teddy bear toss. So that game was sold out. So they
9,500.
had like 9,000 fans for that game, and it was pretty electric. And then on top of that, they got the first goal. We got the first goal there in the first period, so all the teddy bears are on the ice. I don't even know how many were on there.
Crazy,
There's just
crazy,
piles of teddy bears
yeah.
everywhere, and everyone's just going crazy.
Yeah, the Knights bought that, I think, for like 1.3 million. And that I remember because just shortly after they bought it, I ended up getting the job with the team when they moved to the new rink. But the big thing was to kind of like, should they have kept the rink in that end of town because it was off the highway? Like, is Oshawa off the highway? Or is it downtown?
No, it's
Close enough.
A lot of teams,
Yeah.
most teams have it pretty close to the highway.
The highway.
Ours,
Yeah,
is,
Dylan?
ours is only like 5-10 minutes off the highway.
Yeah.
Ours is
Yeah,
pretty
right
close
off
to
of
the
there.
highway.
So London would be the, like, do any other teams have it like right smack downtown?
Probably
Peterborough.
Well,
Peterborough's, yeah.
does,
Peterborough,
but,
yeah.
but they're so small. Those.
Yeah, there's like-
I think like Kitchener does.
Uh-huh.
Kitchener's is in town a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
Kitchener's is, yeah.
Even Guelph's, because theirs is right in the mall.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guelph's in the mall.
Theirs is right in the mall. So
Yeah, and they don't have a big like capacity there. I don't think, right?
It's pretty big.
It's not.
it's like
super
35 something, 38.
big. Yeah, but they have like a small rink, but it sells out, so it's pretty cool.
It looks
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
You wonder if they make money off of 3,500 people, because I always remember that number that, and I won't mention GMs that told me. They told me it was like you need 3,000 people in the seats just to pay the bills. So you wonder, but I think that with now like marketing,
Well,
advertising, right,
It's
sponsors.
different per size of the arena, so.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But I know that the Knights are doing really well over there, and I'm sure Tulio does pretty good. Like they got to be. There's no way that these guys would be in it to break even or lose money. So, but you just watch the investment grow over time. Like these places go from like you said, guy buys for $2 million. Look at these sports franchises. What's the Dallas Cowboys? What is it like? He bought it for $430 million. Now it's worth $4 billion.
Something like that.
Something crazy like that. That's insane. Like, so I think if you hold on to something like that, because sports is just so popular that it's just gonna grow, right? So have you? When are you leaving, Ryan? What's the date? When are you guys gonna head out?
I'm pretty sure they want us down there 28th, 29th there.
28th,
So
do the
then-
testing, and then preseason starts roughly around when?
About first week in September.
First week in September.
I think our first game is maybe 8th or 9th.
Yeah. Yeah.
So about that first week in September, I would say.
What do you guys do? I'm going to ask both of you this separately. You're having a tough time because it happens to every athlete. You get into a little bit of a slump, let's say, right? You're not scoring as much, or you're, just things aren't clicking for you. You're getting all the chances. Is there anything that you do to kind of get out of that? Like anything that you would advise a younger player, that plays in minor hockey, because they get, in that situation, you're going to have parents, involved with the kid for sure in the backseat of the car on the way home. You're going to have that pressure. Just, the pressure alone being at the rink from the coaches or whatever. If you're a guy that scores, what do you do to snap out of that? What's a good little thing you can give a tip?
I'd say just remember, like, it's just a game. Like, have fun.
Yeah.
You gotta have
Do you
fun.
do that? Like, do you actually just go, oh shit, man, it's been 4 games. I haven't scored anything yet.
Well, I mean, like for the most part, like, you just want to, like, just make sure I'm fun. Like if I'm struggling or something, and I might think, like, could I have done something different, I'll go back and watch video.
Yeah.
I mean, really, other than watching video, like, I'd say, like, I just gotta remember to have fun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
If you're
yeah.
going there, like stressing, you're gripping your stick.
It's gonna be worse.
I gotta
Yeah.
do something. Like, that just is most definitely.
Yeah, because we know, like, it happens to every player, except for McDavid.
Well,
He might be the only exception. But that could be a challenge, I think. Ryan, what about you? What do you do? Do you just kind of like battle through it? Not like I talked to one pro one time, and he said that what he does when he was a 50-goal scorer for the night. Maxim Spiridonov, older player. It's been a while since he played. He played in Edmonton for a bit, and he was over in the KHL. And he said he would just go back to like the grassroots, like back check, finish your hit, make the easy play. And just keep doing that, and eventually, he says, it'll just kind of snap out of itself if you have the ability to score.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mason's seen it a couple times this year, obviously, but I think trying to slow the game down, just like let off a little bit. Don't get so hard on yourself. Because I know in minor measure, there's a couple games there I was a bit hard on myself or whatever, just taking it like way too serious, like
Yeah,
Got to do this, got to do that, got to do that, and it didn't really pan out for me. So I think I kind of just let off, maybe change your warm up routine a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, I wouldn't change really much.
Yeah, because you guys are at the highest level, man. Look at the pressure that someone can put. You're right about that, having fun, and I think players have to learn that because
If you don't have fun,
you're in big trouble.
well,
It just gets worse.
Yeah,
it gets worse. It gets worse.
And then you start, the other thing is, and you've seen in change rooms, this guy's complaining about it all the time because, guys start like, oh my God, this guy's complaining about it nonstop, right? It's like, I guess you just have to, like you said, either watch some video.
Well, I think that'd be my thing. Like, I just go over and watch video, like what I could have done differently, or like I watch just anything.
Yeah,
just go over and watch my game, like, and just kind of correct myself and say, oh, I could have done this, and then maybe like kind of like refreshes like certain things you can like do in a game. So,
Yeah.
like, let's say like I don't know. Let's say you went in and you shot, and you'd be like, oh God, I should have deeped there. Well, then maybe it starts to bring back like some moves or something that you did or that was working for you, like something that you did that was working for you before.
Yeah. Nothing better than that goal when it goes in, though. Or you're in a game and you get a point in the first period. You're like, okay, I'm set now.
Yeah, you like get on the score sheet whatever early on, and like you kind of get like comfortable, you relax, and you like, just kind of play your game, and playing your game, like playing knowing what you can do and doing what you can do is like the biggest thing.
And that's why I think these players get paid the money they do. And I know some people like don't care, and other people are like, oh, that guy makes so much money, but. When you're talking less than 1% of the hockey population playing pro, like NHL, and it's a small percentage to play even in the OHL. The pressure is there because at the end of the day they want performance, and I'd love to be a grinder because I'd be like, great, I don't have to score any goals, just go around grinding. You always have a decent game, right? As long as you're trying hard, but if you're pegged to score and you're not scoring, you're like, holy smokes, man, but. Yeah, you too, right? You've been through that, right? I used to give it to you too here and there, and then you didn't like that too much. So the best thing I think, even from a parent's perspective, like if I had to do it over again, it would have been definitely a lot, easier on Mace, leaving. But it's like, you train pro guys your whole life and high level players. So, and when it's your kid, it's different. And I'm sure your dad's, every dad. Right? I remember, I'm not going to mention any dads in the stands, but I've seen dads do some pretty crazy stuff. Richard's not like that. He's pretty straight. But I think the pressure in minor hockey of that parent really, talking to the kid after the game nonstop, like that could get to be hard on the player.
Especially like depending on like the kid too. Like some kids handle like stress differently than other kids do too.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
I think a lot of big problem is nobody really sees like if you have a bad game, they always look at the cons or whatever. There's always pros and cons to each game, and depending on how your game goes or whatever, you're always looking either at the pros or the cons. Like, there's never either like a 50-50 split. Like, okay, you score a nice goal or whatever, but what about the turnover you made in your own end zone? Like,
exactly.
There's always pros and cons to each game, and whether or not you think you had a bad game or a good game, you always did something right.
Yes, 100%. And then that's what my issue was like. I would watch Mason the whole game and just him, but I wouldn't watch the game. If you watch an NHL game, you sit and watch one guy, you're going to see mistakes.
Yeah.
We had Dodonov get us tickets because I used to train him, and he had us go down to Buffalo. And I think was he playing for Florida at the time? Florida. And I've gone and watched other games. He took us to the World Championships to watch the games there, and it was in Toronto. And when Russia was playing, he made the team. And, we show up in Buffalo. We're like, oh, this is awesome, man. Dodonov's a great guy, too. We'd train him in Miami every summer. And, the whole game, turning the puck over. Turning it over nonstop, making mistakes. Minus three. And you know what? We talked earlier before the game, like, I'll see you after the game. And I was like, I don't know if you want to see this guy after the game, right? Because he's pretty hard on himself if that happens. But, I told him, I said, you know what, Evgeny, I said, don't worry about it. I think he was embarrassed, because we were there to watch him, right? He probably didn't even care that there was 15,000 people in the rink. He was like, my buddies are here watching me, and I shit the bed. But every single player does it. Every single player has, if you watch their shift the whole game, they're going to make mistakes.
I wouldn't want anyone to come to my games.
We did that after a while, too. I was like, We're not going to watch it on hockey TV now.
Anytime I asked someone to come, I wouldn't play good.
Yeah.
So I just stopped.
Or even the thought of knowing somebody's there.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot easier if you just like you look in the stands and you just see a bunch of random faces. But if you got like 10 friends there watching or whatever, it's definitely a lot harder.
No, 100%
but yeah.
Dylan, you have does your dad come down and watch some games? He watches some, right?
No, both the parents come down. So our home games are Sunday night. They came down to most
Sunday night, drive all the way to Oshawa.
They drive all the way to Oshawa. They drive back that night.
After one of our games.
They drive back that night too. So I mean, no, they came to a ton of home games.
Richard is the king of leaving Western Fair Arena and coming to the gym in the fastest time.
And I follow him. I'm behind him, and I don't get there.
Well, I was remembering these guys would show up like the rest of the team would be like 20 minutes after, right? You guys taking like some side streets or just how to?
Couple maneuvers.
You got some nos in the car or what? Like, holy shit, man! So. This is going to be an awesome season. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys play. Dylan, you're heading out to Oshawa first and then going to NHL camp on the 20th? Is it main camp or is it a rookie camp first?
No, so it's rookie and then main. So rookie camp is, I think I head out the 12th.
Yeah.
And I think rookie camp goes from the 12th to the 20th.
Yeah.
And then main camp.
And one of the other guys, the Jim Max McHugh, will be there playing with you. He was with San Jose. They released him. And he's trying out there, so they've worked out together in the gym. Max different body frame than the big fella over here, but feisty guy, right? He's a feisty guy. He likes to cause trouble. He's got some skill. Too bad you couldn't go watch your brother play a little bit, But I guess you can watch. Can you watch this thing on television or what?
Well, they have like a channel.
A channel?
Or whatever it is.
Like
you can
YouTube.
Hey, Madison Square Garden. You must have just walked in there and went, wow.
Yeah, that was quite the rink, and then especially especially come back in the summer, you see like these small areas like the Western Fair where there's like no stands. Even like OHL rinks, it's just like one bowl, and then you go to like a rink like that where it holds like 20,000,
massive,
and it's just like whoa,
massive,
like, just crazy.
And it's like I remember when the Islanders would play the Rangers, they don't like each other at all, and there was just like brawls going on in the stands and like people throwing stuff everywhere at people, and it's like when you go to Buffalo and watch an NFL game, it's the same thing. There's like one day we were watching, I think it was Buffalo and Detroit, and a fight broke up across the way. It was November. It was like snow all over the seats everywhere, and all of a sudden you see about, and I'm not joking, about 100 yellow jackets coming in to break up these fights in the stands. So obviously we're still a little ways away from that, but as your agent, like did you guys talk to their brass at all when you got drafted? Did you have a chance to talk to a development guy yet, or they don't do that?
Like, so like a bunch of like different like staff kind of reach out, and then like I said, when you go there, like everyone's kind of got like their own job, and they just do that job.
Yeah.
So like when you go there, they introduce you, they let you know like if you need like help off
Just
ice,
ask.
or if you need a nutrition plan, like just reach out and ask and let them know, and then they just get it to you. Like I asked for a nutrition plan, so like I got a nutrition plan.
Okay.
So I've just been trying to like follow that.
But nothing like, hey, you know what, Dylan, I'm the GM. We're glad we took you. We're want to see big things. Like nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
No. So they just you're there. It's a pecking order. You got to go prove yourself.
You're there and you got to prove yourself.
That's it.
If you don't prove yourself, you're not there.
So basically, rookie camp. If you make it from there to main camp, great. That's a good thing.
Exactly. So,
and then that will happen. So what? Rookie camp is 2 weeks or 1 week?
It's just over a week.
A week, yeah.
Just over a week, and then if you stay for main camp, then you're basically down there for about
And
2
Pears
weeks, just over 2
Pears just left. He left yesterday, and because he's over there in the States, like the Chicago, they start school early, right?
Like 2 weeks earlier. Yeah.
Because he told me, he goes, he's still got like 5 more weeks to work out, and he kind of wanted to, keep going. But you know what? I'm just gonna have to send him his workout. He's a big guy. He's been around a long time. He knows what to do. If I send him stuff, he just does it, right? So, and you guys, Ryan, you guys will start the exhibition game against. You guys know your schedule yet?
London.
No, that's first regular season.
Home opener, but exhibition game we play Oshawa.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
He's not there for that, so.
Yeah, that's good. Dylan?
well, it's all
you don't have to run him off the road.
Well, it's on the 21st there, so I mean.
Yeah.
I'm out and about in New York there, so
How many times will Oshawa play Niagara?
unfortunately it's only once.
That's it, one time.
So like the hometown, it's only once, and then I guess the brother rivalry is only once too.
And the guys in your division will play 4 times? Or more? More.
6.
6 times.
6 times. 3
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Who's Oshawa's rivalry? Like, you guys are clashing when you play.
Probably like Peterborough or something.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't like each other.
Good, quite a bit of like scrums and stuff there, and it's usually a tough game, especially going to like Peterborough's barn.
Yeah.
Like it's an older barn. It's got a lot of history and stuff, but it's a tough barn.
I used to play in it.
Deadly corners.
Is somebody saying about the corners? They were like,
Square.
Like when you're on the ice, you got like 90-degree corners. Like you dump a puck in, and that
Yeah.
puck comes like right back out, pretty much. Like it doesn't rim.
and I'm surprised they haven't changed that stuff yet, because there's a couple rinks like that still. And I'm going like, because in the NHL, every rink is the exact same size.
Yeah.
They got the one
Yeah.
stand side.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. And the OHL, how many rinks would be not the same size as regulation? You think there's 2 of them, 5 of them?
There's just probably a couple. Like Sudbury's is pretty tight. I think
Yeah.
Peterborough's is tight. I don't know if North Base would be a little tight too or not.
Peter Rose is definitely not right.
No.
Oh god,
No.
no. There's
It's a death trap.
Like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Peterborough would be the worst like rink. I mean, it is a cool rink to play and all that, but that ice there, it's just it doesn't feel right playing out there.
No, I know.
It's just
I know.
so much different than rink size.
But I think when you're, playing and you're there, you don't even think about that. It's just,
Well, yeah, that too.
that's your job, right? And I remember just some of the places in, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League that were looking at Mason. There was like Shawinigan looking at Mason and some other teams. I'm like looking at the rink and I'm going, oof, what is this place? But it's hockey. That's the way it is, man.
Yeah.
And to change a rink and buy a new one and that and do it over, we're talking big money.
Yeah.
Big money. So anyway, guys, listen, man, it was a real pleasure having you guys in here tonight, man. I have a lot of respect for you two guys, right? We made pretty good friendships too, besides, me training you and stuff like that. And I wish you guys nothing, but the best. You guys just keep working hard. Mace, what do you think? These guys, they're probably going to be players, I would assume.
For sure.
Yeah. So I'm really excited, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to have you guys back in again after the season, because I want to hear some stories, Ryan, when first year being a rookie in the OHL, right? Wish we had a camcorder on you at that time. So
I'm going to stick a little mic
Yeah.
in the
right on.
before every game.
Right on, guys. Thanks again, man. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us on here.
No problem.